everybody, it's Amber. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me again today. I have another craft fair idea that I want to share with you. And in today's video, we're going to be making commonplace books. So I'm going to be selling these at my craft fair, and all they are is altered journals pretty much, but I made them really cute and pretty, and I used this really beautiful paper collection that's called All Heart, and it's by Crepe Paper. It's so beautiful and inspiring. And so we're going to make commonplace books today. If you don't know what a commonplace book is, it's pretty much whatever you want it to be. That's my definition of it. There's many different definitions online and things like that, but my definition of a commonplace book is a journal slash notebook that you can just take, and you take it with you pretty much everywhere, and you jot down your ideas, lyrics, poems of an inspiring section of a book that you just read and you want to remember it, or a quote. It doesn't have to be in order in any way. It doesn't have to have eloquent writing. Sometimes I will take mine to work. Actually, every day I take my commonplace book to work, and I use it for ideas that pop up in my mind that I don't have time to build on at the time because I'm working. But I'll write it down, and when I get home, I can go back to my commonplace book for that day and just kind of read over the notes I wrote, if I have like a craft idea or anything like that. So a commonplace book is so therapeutic to me. I love it. I love reading back through the ones that I've filled up. So I have made commonplace books. You can totally make these into whatever you want. You can call them journals, you can call them diaries, you can call them anything you want. But I'm going to market them as commonplace books because I am so in love with the whole concept of a commonplace book. And one of my most favorite things to put in commonplace books are song lyrics and just quotes that I think of, or I remember, or I read, or I listen to, and I love putting those in there too. So I'm going to stop being so chatty and show you the ones that I've made. So let me kind of show you what I did. You will see throughout these when I show them to you just how beautiful the paper is. It's very inspiring. I just love everything about this collection. So as soon as I show you the ones that I made, I'm going to show you what I used to make them. I'll give you some tips along the way. And then of course, we're going to make one here on video today. Like I said, I've made 9 so far. This is what they look like. They're just really nice notebooks. I covered them with the paper. Here's the back. Isn't that paper just beautiful? And I made a ribbon closure, and I used seam binding. And I just did, one of my tips is going to be showing you how to create a base design and work off of it and make each one unique, but working off that base design. And it helps to mass produce these. So let me show you what the inside looks like. So on the inside here, I covered the inside, of course. This is the front page folded over, and I'm going to show you how to make them. And I did do a pocket on the front page, so little notes and cards and things can be stuck into here. So here's the notebook with all the pages in it. And then I just covered and lined the back cover, and there's that. So like I said, I did a ribbon closure on all of them. These are so satisfying to make. I love it. So I'm going to show you the rest of them that I made. I won't show you the insides of all of them, but I will a couple here and there. Okay, so those are the 9 that I made, and we're going to make the 10th one here on video. Let me show you what you need to make these. So to start off, I want to show you the journals that I used. I have so many journals in my stash, but I've been altering them, and I didn't have a bunch of the same size. So my advice to you is, if you have journals that you've picked up from like Michael's or the Target Dollar Spot or just on clearance, use those and just kind of measure them and alter them according to the measurement of the journal. If you don't have any, then I suggest getting the ones that I used. And so I got these from Amazon, and they weren't as cheap as I would have liked them to be. I would have rather them been like $1 each. They ended up being about $1.40 each. So I got 12 of them, and I think they were 16 and some change. So I'm going to link them below if you want to get some. But these are like the best thing that ever happened to me in this project. I absolutely loved working with these. So 30 lined sheets front and back. And they're just perfect. They've got the craft cover. So perfect for altering. And I just loved using these. When we get to the end of the video, when I talk about my pricing, you're going to be okay with the fact that these were around $1.40 each. So everything else I pretty much already had in my stash, and I've already cut down my paper. We're going to go through each piece, and I'm going to tell you what it measures. So you're going to start out with 2 pieces of 12 by 12 paper, and it's better if it's double-sided because then you can use the various sides for different things. So the first measurement that you're going to need is a piece that measures 12 inches by 8 1/4, and that is what matches this particular notebook. If you don't have double-sided, that's okay. You can just mix and match the other sheets. So that's that one. Okay, the second piece that you're going to need are for the inside covers, to mat the inside covers. So you need 2 of those, and those measure 5 1/4 by 8 1/4, and you need 2 of those. Then you're going to need a strip to go across and cover your ribbon closure, and that's this strip here. And that piece measures 11 1/4 by 2 1/2. So that's 11 1/4 by 2 1/2. So these are the pieces you're going to have left, and once you cut all the paper down to the dimensions that I just shared with you, these are the ones you're going to have left. So you're going to take this piece here and take one of your matte pieces for the inside cover and just make sure that you have it the same width. And this is the same width. This is going to become your pocket. There's no dimension here that you need to have. It can be any dimension, but it needs to be the same width across. So that dimension is 5 1/4. Okay, so this is a piece that you'll have left over after you cut your paper down. Perfect for your pocket. And then I just cut a little notch with my circle punch halfway, and we're going to do that in the tutorial. So now you have these 3 left. And so for these 3, let me show you what I did. So I'm going to show you on this one here. So as you know, on the front, you're going to have this strip going all the way around. So you're already going to have that color there. And so you're going to need 2 more pieces. You're going to be using this piece, which I, for this project, love the ripped look. How it's got like ripped. See, that one has ripped. And you're just going to rip part of this page. Here's the back, and you're going to put it wherever you think it looks good, along with a strip of either this or this. And that's going to be your base design. So that's what I did for all of mine. I had that strip going all the way around, and then I had a ripped piece and a strip piece. And I just layered them how it looked good with the colors that I had for that page. So that's what you're going to need. You're going to end up not even using one of these strips. So you can save it for another project or do whatever you want with it. But that's the basic design that I used and the cuts that you need to make for your scrapbook paper to make one of these Commonplace books. Let's go ahead and get started on the tutorial. This is your cover page, and the very first thing you're going to do is decide which side you want to be showing. And of course, I would like this to be my cover. So I'm going to turn it over and cover this entire side with adhesive. I recommend using like a tape runner or something that you can make sure you get to the very, very edge. So I'm going to use my ATG gun for that. So like I mentioned, just make sure you get all the way to the edge with your adhesive. So I like to get all of the 4 sides really well to the edge. And then I fill in pretty generously with ATG. So you can use, if you have the big Scor Tape that you want to use, you can use that. If you want to use Scor Tape on the edges or the red line tape, you can do that. Or if you want to even fill the middle in with wet glue, you can do that too. I like using the ATG tape because it doesn't bubble, and I just love using it. So now just make sure if you have an orientation on your paper that it's the right way, like the top is at the top, the bottom is at the bottom. And lay this down. You can use your craft mat for this or just eyeball it. I usually just eyeball it. So I'm going to bring in this white sheet so you can see this better. I'm just going to slip it under here. So you're going to take your journal, and this is the back cover. You want to make sure that this edge is approximately a ½ inch away from the edge of your scrapbook paper. So you just line it up here, and I like to go from the bottom. So just make sure that's nice and straight, and then just lay it down. And it should be very, very easy if you use that method. So see what I did? There's about a ½ inch here exposed. Make sure that's really, really adhered down. Burnish the glue really, really well, and make it adhered really good to that back cover. Okay, so now you've got this exposed still. Okay, so now I've just closed my journal, and the next thing you do is just take this side and work the middle where that spine is, and just kind of gently crease it so where it hits the edge of that spine, because that's got adhesive on it. And you want to make sure you have nice clean coverage with this, so just kind of work it up with your fingers, and then you're going to take it and pull it as tight as you can, but do not rip the paper. And then again, I like to line this up at the bottom. Make sure the bottom is lined up. There's no journal showing. I'm going to turn it this way so I can see it a little better. So just line that up at the bottom and kind of let go of it. And then just crease the rest down with your hand so it's pretty much covered. And then you're going to go in with your bone folder. Make sure that the two exposed edges don't glue together. So the next thing I do is I take my bone folder, and the first thing I do is crease down where the spine is. And then you're going to take it and burnish the entire front cover. Be sure not to slip off here and rip this part, because you're going to fold that back. So just get it kind of adhered. You can go in and do it more in a minute, but you just want to make sure it's nice and glued down. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is open up your back cover and take this, and you're going to fold it over. So just be very gentle, because this is still paper and you don't want to rip it in half and have to start all over. So I like to just find that edge where it naturally would score the paper, and just kind of see what I'm doing. Let it naturally score that paper, and then gently fold it down and work your way to the top and then to the bottom, and it should be pretty even. So see that nice clean look now? And now you can just use your bone folder and burnish that down. So now you have a nice clean edge on your journal. And then you're going to do the same thing for this side. This is a beautiful journal or altered notebook as it is right here. So now I'm going to show you the next material you're going to need. I'm just going to stick something heavy right there so it kind of lays flat. Okay, so next thing you need is just some ribbon, or I'm using seam binding, and just choose a color that you think goes nice. So I'm going to use this light pink color because it's the longer piece. And you're just going to take your book and kind of measure how much you want to stick out to tie a bow. So this is very crinkly, so there's really not a set measurement, but I think this is enough slack right here. And so all you do is just see how much slack you want. Pull this part tight, because it's going to be pulled tight on the journal, and just kind of make an even cut. Just take some fabric scissors and cut right there. So now all we have to do is adhere this on to the book, because we're going to cover this with a strip of paper. So I lay my Commonplace book like this, and I find the center of my ribbon or seam binding, and just stick it there, you know, mark it with your finger. And you can eyeball the center or you can measure it. I eyeball, so I'm going to lay a strip of adhesive right there. And then take your seam binding, here's the middle, I still have it pinched with my thumb, and find the spine where the middle is, and then just tightly pull it and just kind of press it down. This glue does not have to hold it good at all. You just want it to hold its place when you put the strip of paper over it. So then turn it around, and you've already got it marked where the center is. So you're just going to lay another line of adhesive. Okay, so the next part is going to be this strip, and this strip covers that seam binding, like this. So this one is the 2.5 by 11 1/4. So of course I don't want this side showing, I want the opposite side to show. I'm going to cover this entire side with adhesive, and again, get to the edges really well, all 4 edges, and then fill the middle in generously. So the way I like to do this is I like to have the opening of the book facing me. That way I can center this pretty perfectly with the ribbon. So I'm going to set it here. Make sure you're pulling it tight so there's no bulk under there. And center the ribbon in the middle of this paper strip. So here's the ribbon. And then just kind of lay it down. Alright, so we've got the front. Then you're just going to turn it over to the back as tight as you can without ripping it. And it's going to cover the other side. So then just take your bone folder along those edges to make sure it's not going to come up. And there you go. You've got your ribbon or your seam binding covered. And it's starting to look so pretty. So to do this, I like to have this part out of the way, so just kind of put something heavy there. And you just get one of your matte pages. Choose the side you want to use. So let's see, I think since this is going to be my pocket, let's see what looks better. Does it look better like this? Or like this? Ooh, I kind of like this. So I'm going to do the polka dots showing. Whatever side you don't want it on, fill that side with adhesive. Again, getting all the way to the edge. So if you think about this, these are so fun to mass produce because you just cut all your paper down. So what I did is I cut all my paper down and then I did this. I clipped it together like this. So this little bundle is one journal. I've got my cover, my strip, my inside pages, and my extras. So that's what I did. I made 12 sets of these because I have 12 journals, and that's what I did. So this is the 10th one we're making. If I have time before my first craft fair, I will make the other 2. When you go to mat the inside cover, you want to be guided by this because you don't want to get all the way in that crevice and have your closure be obstructed. So I like to take it a little bit off of there, maybe like 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch off of that closure, more close to 1/4 inch. And just lay that down. I like to press it all the way down so it's even. And then just kind of let go and it'll fall into place. So see there where there's like 1/4 of an inch gap? You want that so that way this doesn't obstruct your fold. So the next thing to do is add our pocket right here. So I'm going to take that piece that we talked about right here, and I'm just going to cut a little half circle notch with my 1.5 inch scallop circle and cut that out. And so it's going to be right there and it's going to be super cute. For this you do want to use wet glue. So I'm using my Tombow Mono liquid glue. And I'm using the pen tip. So you just want to glue 3 sides. This side, the bottom, and this side. Just take your wet glue, do a thin bead. And I've mentioned this in all my videos, but the reason I use wet glue on pockets is so whatever you put in there does not get stuck, because this dries clear and flexible. So let's add our pocket. So the key to this is you're gonna line your pocket up exactly with your mat page. That's this polka dot page here. So just make sure, I like to just line it up with this left edge, and you have a little room to work since it's wet glue. Make sure you line it up completely straight with the bottom and the right edge. And it adds so much to your Commonplace book, and now you have a pocket. So we need to decide what we want to use for the strip and for the ripped piece. So let's look at our journal. We've got this color here, so I know I don't need to use that color again. I want a contrast of colors. I for sure want the polka dots, but I've been loving the ripped look and where the white paper core gets exposed. I love that look. So I'm thinking I'm going to use this side for the ripped look, and all you do for that is just take this side of your paper and just start ripping. And I like to go kind of up and down if I can, and you just have a ripped edge. I love how that looks, especially with this beautiful collection. So now I'm going to wait to trim this, because of course I'm going to take all that off. So since I'm using this print, I want the polka dots definitely for the strip piece. So for this, I just eyeball this, you guys. So I just move it a little bit in, and I seriously just take my scissors and kind of trim the same length from the edge on the other side. So I eyeball this completely. So there it is. I don't know where I'm going to put this yet, but now I want to take this and give this an eyeball of a trim too. Time to design this cover. So I can play around with it. I definitely want the white ripped page to be against this green. So I think it might look good if I put this here. Oh yeah, that's how it's going to be. So that's going to be the base of my cover, and then we're going to embellish it. Our cover coming together so nicely, and all that's left to do is embellish this stuff. So if you don't want to spend forever designing each little journal that you make because you're trying to mass produce for your craft fair, just go with a base design. And with that I mean some kind of paper embellishment, a chipboard or a sticker, and a sentiment. I love this right here. It's so pretty, and we can like layer it like this kind of down here, and then add one of these or add a chip. Okay, so I think I decided on a design. I'm going to use this one up here. So I always add extra adhesive to these just to make sure, because I want them to be permanent. Okay, so I'm going to stick that. That is so pretty. And then I love this here, so I think I'll put this down here. I just love the eclectic variety of this collection. I love it. And then for chipboard, I was thinking of using this girl. I think she's super cute. And I'm going to add some extra adhesive on the back. Just stick that down. Look at this. Be happy, and it's in that beautiful green color. So this is very representative of a Commonplace book because it's kind of all over the place, but at the same time it all goes together, and I just love how artsy it is. So there's the cover that I created. So for the packaging on these, I'm using these clear bags right here. So I don't have the packaging that these came in, but I have a ton of this size, and it's 9 1/4 by 6. So I'm going to link these exact ones below if you would like to order them from Clear Bags. This is not a sponsored video, but I do have a coupon code for clearbags.com, and I'll leave it below. So make sure you use that coupon to get 10% off. So again, I'm going to link the exact bags that I use below. You package these, kind of put your seam binding to the front like this. Then you're going to slip your Commonplace book in. And there it is. It's so nice, and then you just seal this up. It's just the perfect fit. So make sure if you're using these journals that you use these clear bags because they are the perfect size for these journals. So for pricing on these, you guys are going to be proud of me because I'm going to price these at $7 each. The reason I decided not to do like just a straight up $5 is because A, these are a little bit more expensive than I usually would use for an altered journal, plus I'm using really nice quality embellishments. There's layers upon layers to this. There's a pocket on the inside, there's a closure, and so these Commonplace books I think will do fine at $7 each. Thank you so much to everybody for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Thank you again for all of your support. If you want to see more craft fair ideas, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and follow me on Instagram because that's where I announce all of my new videos. And so here's my handle name, and I'll also link it below. Remember, I'm going to be linking these wonderful journals. You can just click and go order them from Amazon. And of course the clear bags will be linked, and the beautiful paper collection, and of course all the tools and materials that I used in today's video. So again, thank you all. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!